population is around 380,000, making it the 9th most populous city in California and the 52nd most populous city in the nation.
While 40 million Californians suffer through unprecedented drought, one billionaire couple owns a massive share of the state's water system, seized in a series of secretive meetings 2 decades ago. That system was largely paid for by the very taxpayers whose water these billionaires hold hostage.
Just the stuff that they focus on. You know what I mean? There's a guy from Nestle that doesn't think water is a human right. I mean, that guy should be hunted down and
Some of Hollywood's biggest celebrities are accused of using too much water while the rest of us try to conserve. And they're not alone. Thousands are being warned about using too much water.
In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it, ask questions, demand answers.
Keanu Reeves is calling out his fellow celebrities for their selfish actions during the ongoing California wildfires crisis. And once again, Keanu is showing he's one of the rare people in Hollywood with real morals and principles. The rest of them, however, reports have surfaced that celebrities like Kim Kardashian and Kevin Hart have been regularly exceeding their water allocations by hundreds of thousands of gallons. And it's not just the two of them. Other big names have been caught red-handed too. But that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to celebs and their reaction. To these fires, remember Ollie Carter's prediction. Elle is a survivor who made headlines with her shocking allegations against some of Hollywood's most powerful figures. And in a recently resurfaced video from October 2024, Ollie warned us to watch out for those fires. According to Ollie, these so-called natural disasters might actually be orchestrated distractions to destroy incriminating evidence against high-profile celebs, particularly those tied to the rumored PDF file ring in the entertainment industry. A lot of people are now saying it's no coincidence that these fires broke out just a few months before P. Diddy's trial started in May, and shortly after Diddy's close friends like Jay-Z, J.Lo, Ellen DeGeneres, and other got dragged into his legal drama. So what's really going on in Hollywood right now? And is Keanu Reeves actually backing Ollie Carter's claims that the elites are using the fires to cover up evidence? Let's get into it.
Kim Kardashian got hit with a fine in 2022 for using 232,000 gallons over her water limit. That's not just watering the garden twice a week, that's filling an Olympic-sized pool.
Once again, celebrities are getting called out for their outrageous water usage. While California continues to fight devastating wildfires, despite ongoing drought concerns and strict water restrictions, some of Hollywood's elite are still hoarding and wasting water. Reports have exposed A-list names whose estates are using up thousands, sometimes even millions of gallons, way over the allowed limits. And while everyday Californians are being urged to conserve water and face fines for overuse, these celebs are out here keeping their massive lawns green and filling up their luxury pools without a care in the world since 2022. California has enforced strict water conservation rules, limiting residents to watering their gardens twice a week for just 8 minutes each time. But despite these measures, some celebrities have been fined for excessive water use. According to the Daily Mail, Kim Kardashian was fined for exceeding her water allocation by 232,000 gallons. Other celebrities, including Sylvester Stallone and Kevin Hart, have also faced fines for similar violations. One of Kim Kardashian's neighbors told the Mail everyone was told to cut back on water precisely for this situation, to preserve it, to fight fires they carried on watering, because they could afford the fines. Meanwhile, people are also getting more frustrated with Hollywood's elites for paying $2,000 an hour to hire private firefighters just to protect their own homes.
State fire officials won't allow private crews into areas under evacuation orders and want to make sure the units don't slow down public firefighters. Consumer advocates say these programs create a two-tier system that favors the wealthy.
When it comes to your home's chance of surviving a wildfire, it does not seem fair that a wealthy person's home could be saved as a higher priority than a lower income.
But here's where things start to get real suspicious. These same celebrities, being exposed for hoarding water and wasting resources during the LA fires, are allegedly panicking behind the scenes. But not because of the wildfires themselves. Word on the street is that some of Hollywood's elite are worried. about what these fires might be covering up, and it all apparently ties to the fallout from the Diddy case. Now, let's talk about Ollie Carter, a survivor who came forward with disturbing allegations about powerful figures in the industry before disappearing from the public. Ollie warned that there would be explosions and fires orchestrated to destroy evidence tying elites to some seriously dark crimes.
Fires in Cali, a huge cover-up for Hollywood. Ollie Carter told us that there's a huge arrest coming that's going to shake the nation. She also said to watch out for fires because they're going to be burning evidence.
The world is going to crumble when they see this next arrest. In the meantime, there's going to be distractions and fires to hide evidence.
Ollie Carter told us about these underground tunnels in LA. They're small cities where celebrities go to have parties. She's been down there and she entered through a museum. Hollywood's trying to destroy all this evidence by fires. How are they going to destroy evidence in the tunnels? I'm really on the fence about this conspiracy theory, but it's starting to make more and more sense. If the fires are tied in with Diddy, they must be covering some deep shit if they're willing to burn down a whole city. It has to be something big.
Now, let's talk about the Diddy connection. Ever since those lawsuits and investigations into his alleged crimes started piling up, the industry has been on edge. A-listers like Jay-Z, who used to brag about their friendship with Diddy, are suddenly acting like they never knew him.
This is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. It's my strategist right here. This is my brother. It's B.I.G's brother. Yes, sir.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. You go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case. And there's nothing more to say.
So, if what Ollie Carter claimed was true, these fires could be wiping out evidence that links some of Hollywood and the music industry's biggest names to the very crimes Diddy is being accused of now. If you're not familiar with Ollie Carter's allegations, she's been making waves since 2020 with her videos where she not only exposed the rumored PDF file ring in Hollywood, but she actually named names and claimed she was a victim of some very famous people. The wildest part is that Ollie spoke about this way before Diddy scandals came to light. But at the time, most people brushed her off, calling her a clout chaser or saying she wasn't mentally stable. In 2020, Ollie posted several videos where she made shocking claims about being sold through the foster care system and then taken to secret parties where celebrities were allegedly involved in disturbing rituals.
Carter, survivor of and Hollywood satanic rituals, speaks out back in 2020 about how she was sold into through foster care. Ollie allegedly claims that she was a victim of for many years and has witnessed well-known high-profile celebrities and politicians that have participated, such as Joe Biden, Michelle and Barack Obama, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and many more.
Ron Jeremy, Denzel Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres, Whoopi Goldberg, Lady Gaga, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Joan Rivers, Rod Saget. Do you want me to keep?
To Ollie, this is all part of a highly organized operation, backed by some of the wealthiest and most powerful people on the planet. And she claims these people use innocent young victims as party favors at the rumored secret rituals.
Through the garden area, and employees led us to underground tunnels. We had to take an elevator and stairs. We had to be led. There is no way that you can just walk into a tunnel. The entrances and the exits are in your face, but there's no way that you can just walk through tunnels. You'll get stuck. You'll go deeper and deeper. You won't be able to come back out because it's hard, because the tunnels run all different directions for miles and miles and miles and miles. So if you go down the wrong one, you'll get stuck, and it's confusing to turn back around and get back to where you're going. So you have to be led in and out. I think people assume that when you get underground, it's just this dirt and you keep going deeper and there's more dirt and then there's cages of children. No, that's not how it works. There is different There's cities underground. There's warehouses underground. There's actual homes underground. People build these tunnels, and they've built them for decades. There's a lot of elite celebrities. They go down there for parties.
There's a lot of child, a lot of satanic rituals, a lot of things that go on in these tunnels. And right now,
But elle didn't stop with just those claims after Diddy's arrest. She posted more videos claiming those freak-off parties were actually satanic rituals.
still not on the subject of the kids. All the adults are covering this. All the adults are, I left at a certain time, yet you knew children were there. You knew these parties were not okay. They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic ritual screaming underwater since I was 3 months old. I went into foster care at 13, 14. We tried to do a case against Riverside County Child Protective Services because Riverside County, do you hear me? Riverside County Child Protective Services was involved in.
But elle didn't stop with Diddy. She also called out some surprising names in her videos, saying that there are figures in Hollywood who are seen as untouchable and beyond criticism. However, according to elle, people would be shocked if they knew the dark and twisted things these so-called role models actually get up to.
Never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested, and I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. P. Diddy. Alright? Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington. People don't usually talk and stop and think about the children that are going through things right now as we speak, and the ones who suffered through all this. You know he's about to turn into another Epstein, and then the list follows and it circles back into a web. So why isn't anybody demanding any information on the case? Huh? Where'd that supply chain come from? Do you think that thousands of bottles worth of baby oil was for thousands of food? $65,000 worth of hot dogs and pizza was for who? Over the border was for who? Child Protective Services is your supplier. Is anybody going to talk about that? You don't live in the world you think you do. Everybody that you think is not guilty is about to show you who they really are. I've been screaming for years. The adults who are swearing up and down I left at 1 o'clock in the morning. You shouldn't have been there in the first place. You should have been there. And on top of that, if you knew that there were children coming in after a certain hour, why the hell didn't you say anything until right now?
Now, Howard, let's go back to what elle said about her foster parents. In another video, elle claimed that CPS was somehow involved in this alleged ring. And even Allie's biological mom supported her story, accusing CPS of failing the very people they're supposed to protect.
Allie was put in foster care. I was advocating for her, and I was reporting back, and I was writing reports and turning in reports to CPS based on the that she was telling me that she was experiencing while in foster care. At first, they embraced me, and they were allowing me to have visitation with her. When I started making too many waves, they turned everything back on me. They filed a court order that said I was a predator to Allie, and they were telling me I was not allowed to have contact with her because they were trying to silence things, and they were using that as a means to scare me. They never... CPS was in charge of Allie at that time. She was their responsibility. If they filed a court order that I was a predator or was harming her, they should have pressed charges, and they should have followed up on that, and they never did. Shortly after that, Allie went missing from CPS care. She was AWOL for over a year. After that year was up, they placed her with me. They said I was a good home and a good fit for her, and they allowed her to be placed in my home. Those are two opposite things in a very short time, but they do that to a lot of parents. That's a tactic they use. to silence people, to keep control of the situation, to get people to look the other way. CPS is very corrupt, and it needs to be defunded. It's very evil what they do. They can remove children from any of your homes for any reason. It's irrelevant whether you're a good parent or a bad parent. If CPS wants to take your kid, they can come in and take your kid, and you really won't have a leg to stand on.
Meanwhile, more people from inside the industry are starting to speak up about what they've seen while working for Hollywood's elite. One of them is celebrity bodyguard Big Homie Double C, who recently hinted on real-life productions that government agencies might be involved in the crimes Ally Carter talks about in her videos when Big Homie CC was asked about people turning on Jaguar Ride and calling her crazy after she went after Jay-Z and Beyonce. In that Piers Morgan interview, Sissy didn't join the hate train. Instead, he said that at least Jaguar is trying to raise awareness about a huge issue that the mainstream media refuses to talk about.
There are 150,000 unaccounted for children that cross the border every year that are unaccounted for. There is a certain level of darkness that comes with levels of high wealth, because Rook just asked me right now that I think that he could somebody. You know, these are people who are not used to being told no. And like, I know a gentleman who has a yacht. Like, the yacht probably costs like $200 million. And there's an entire staff that stays on this yacht. They stay for 6 months, the other staff come for the next 6 months. So if you got enough money, you can buy a person. You can buy their time. So that's the level of what's going on. So, you know, I'm not gonna debate like facts with people about Jaguar Ride. You feel me? This is a lady who got song production credits with Al Green. So, you know, this is somebody who's a gifted talent, like a real artist, have a real singing voice, like now outside of the studio without synthesizers and effects, you feel me? And like anybody who's on a crusade to bring awareness to human and oppression against women and children, I support, you feel me? Like, you know, because that's really what the cause is. Because, you know, that was always my true message, you feel me? Like, to get my message out, I knew I wanted to throw some people under the bus, but like, I'm the boogeyman to them. So like, I ain't really worried about that, you feel me? But it's just like, it's things happening in our country that people aren't paying attention to, you feel me? The Democrats let in 13,000 people with convictions illegally through the border. That's outlandish. Over 600 people on a watch list have crossed the border illegally and are moving freely on the undetained list here in America. Each year, 150,000+ children come across the border and are unaccounted for. If they're not with proper authorities, they are with cartels, they are with criminal organizations, they are getting. It's the biggest business on the planet.
But the rabbit hole goes even deeper, because Ally didn't just accuse Hollywood celebs of being involved in these alleged crimes. She also pointed the finger at the political elites, including former presidents.
I was going in and out of my home, paying off my foster parents, and taking me to Hollywood elite parties over and out of the country, which is, you would think, would be where the FBI would have stepped in. I was letting my social workers know, and they told me to stay quiet. They told me that if I told anybody else, that I would be shipped off to Arizona and no one would ever find me again. So, you know, at one point, you learn that you have to deal with what you have to deal with when the people in authority are not there to help you. And everybody is so worried about the elite, and we could give those names of Barack Obama, Joe Biden. We know about Michelle Obama, that's a man. We know about Too Short. We know about Akon and Steven Tyler, and we can give those names all day. And everybody is so worried about that, but what you should be worried about is the people that are in between, the people that go as low as your grave diggers. I was to people within my schools. I was in underground tunnels that link under your schools, through your cemeteries, under your amusement parks, through Universal Studios, and into Hollywood elite homes, all over the place.
The names that you just mentioned, Barack Obama, Steven Tyler, Joe Biden, Michelle Obama, have you had personal experiences with these people?
Yes.
These people participated firsthand with you?
Yes.